and the positive results have followed. A 15-hit, 11-run attack last night in Arizona. Plenty for Max Scherzer to bump the win streak to 5. Now it's Stephen Strasburg's turn to step it up and keep the good times rolling in the desert. Road trip is off to a great start. Chase Field in Phoenix. And tonight it's game 2. The Nats and the D-backs. Matt Williams, an absolute legend here at the ballpark. And the legend of Harper keeps on growing around baseball, whether we're in D.C. or traveling around the major leagues. Bob and FP, welcome to game 2. The Nats totally dominating the D-backs these days. Can it continue tonight with Stephen Strasburg? A lot of people wondering what was going on last time out and how that will translate into tonight's start.
Yeah, the 3-inning, 64-pitch performance last time out that the whole baseball world was talking about. Everybody wondering what was wrong with Stephen Strasburg, and we had the shots of him kind of wincing between pitches and going into the dugout, right down in the tunnel. Lee Kuntz followed him down there. They'd let him go back out for the 3rd inning, but on this throw, Carp, this is where you could tell something was really wrong.
Yeah, he just kind of goosed it over to first base. Even a soft throw like that, causing him some discomfort. Then it happened again on a pitch, and then a little drama in the dugout. He was trying to talk his way into staying around in that game.
Yeah, well, you know, he didn't want to just blow the bullpen out, and he said he wanted to work through it. But it was an ankle thing that led to a hip tightness, to the back tightness, to some pain in his shoulder. So it was all interconnected. He saw a chiropractor. And I'll tell you this, and nobody knows their personnel like those guys in the dugout. There's no way they would have left Stephen Strasburg out there if he was hurt. But that being said, very interested to see how he reacts here tonight.
Hey, and maybe some early run support like Max Scherzer got last night. Escobar's been great in the number 2 spot, and the guy in front of him, DENARD Span, got the Nats off to a power start last night. He's been on base 15 of the 17 games in which he's played. DENARD is the engine that makes the offense go.
Back to game 2 of the 3-game set. Big win for the Nats last night. This guy joining us right now led the whole party off with a home run. Are you close to 100% right now?
I think I'm getting there day by day. Obviously, you know, I have good days and bad days. There's days when I feel more closer to 100%, and you know, when there are bad days, it's usually because I'm a little sore.
Well, I mean, you took a day off. You came in yesterday. You're swinging the bat. So good days, bad days. When do you feel like you're going to start stealing some bases? Do you see that in the near future?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, last night we had planned on trying to execute that a little bit, but the score got out of hand a little bit. So I think these next couple weeks, I'm probably going to try to be a little aggressive.
So in 2013, 127 games to get to 3 home runs. In 2014, 124 games to get to 3 home runs. This year, 17 games to get to 3 home runs.
That's
you
right.
are strong, my man. What's going on with the home runs?
Man, it's been a work in progress. I've been working with Shuey for the last couple years, and we've just been working on getting in just a good position to hit, and I think now we're finally starting to see the results of the hard work.
Well, talk about the position to hit, because you have a unique stance, one of the more unique left-handed stances in baseball, where you're turned in, you kind of squat down. I mean, that's a lot to keep up on a daily basis.
Yeah, it is, man. It is. That's why I do a lot of my cage work. I don't hit on the field. I do a lot of my work in the cage, and so a lot goes into my swing. It's a lot of it is timing. The majority of it really is timing, and that's why you see me take my time. I always, raise my hand, ask for timeout to make sure I got my body and my hands, where I want them to be.
My mind is spinning right now on which question to ask you. I was going to ask you how many citations you have in your locker for not having 2 feet in the batter's box. We're not going to go there right now. I want you to tell the fans what you go through on a daily basis. From the time you get to the ballpark, the treatment, the cage, the batting practice. I think a lot of fans don't realize that you guys get here around 1 o'clock every day.
Yeah, I mean, I got here probably around 2 o'clock today, but I usually get here, I get a little food in me, take my vitamins. And after that, I might watch TV for a split second just to kind of get my mind prepared for what I want to do that day. And then after that, I go straight to the weight room and get my body loose, do a lot of activation, different types of exercises, especially coming off surgery. So I got to, make sure I do my, just a good adequate warm-up to make sure my body is ready to go. And after that, I go to the cage and get my cage work in. And then by that time, it's time for batting practice and stretch, and then I get my shag on.
And then you go back in, maybe take a shower, get your game uni on. You have a routine every single day.
Yeah, same routine. I try to stick with it as much as possible, especially when I'm going good.
All right, if you guys are healthy and you're clicking, are you the best team in baseball?
Of course, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Well, that's the answer everybody wanted to hear, I'm sure. DENARD, thanks for taking time out.
No problem.
Lineups, first pitch next. This guy, we're going to watch him hit, leading this whole thing off. Maybe another tater like last night.
Thanks, Frank Paul.
That's good, man.
National League. With 29 RBIs on the year, Bryce stands alone with 11 home runs, had an RBI base hit here last night. And DENARD's fans going to get things going in just a moment. That's, by the way, on a beautiful night. Very little humidity, a little cooler than last night, 89 with the roof open. Over the last 5 games, they've outscored their opponents 40. That's 40-18. So a little further down the lineup, Wilson Ramos, not to be forgotten down there, 22 for 55, a 400 batting average during his now career high matching 14-game streak. He's also over 400 with runners in scoring position. This is Ruby De La Rosa.
Yeah, he's a stuff guy. His fastball 95 to 97. It's got arm side run to it. It'll run away from a lefty into a righty. Pretty good slider and a pretty good change to go with it. Last time out on May 7th against the Padres, he tossed 7 scoreless innings, gave up just 3 hits to the Pods, struck out 7. So got a good fastball and good secondary pitches to go with it.
And his opponents, as you saw, only hitting .234 against him. 26-year-old right-hander, 6'1", 225 from the Dominican Republic. He was with the Red Sox for 18 starts last year. So DENARD hitting .292, and he'll take that one low and away. The Nats are 3rd in the league in runs, just 1 behind the Padres for the number 2 spot with 152. And in the top 3 in home runs. Kerwin Danley has the plate tonight. Rob Drake at first, Gabe Morales, first game of the series, he's at second, and Joe West, the crew chief, in the rocking chair over there at third base. 3-1 pitch. That's at the knees. So DENARD in 17 games, 21 hits, only 2 times has not reached base during a game since returning. And a 3-2, flips it out to left center. DENARD span is on the road to 300.
Well, a good at bat. He fills up the count. I think he got a 3-2 changeup right here from De La Rosa, and he stayed on it nice. Flips it into left field. There goes the no-hitter, DENARD span style in the desert. And you always worry when you do a pregame interview with somebody they're going to have a bad game. So I am so happy he got that hit, because it would have been my fault if he went over.
Yeah, now you two can speak between now and September.
Yes.
So here's Escobar, who's having a .410 month of May. Unbelievably good last night.
Did we hear?
Tuffy GOSEWISCH behind the plate. By the way, his catcher's numbers only 4 for 17 in terms of caught stealing. The Diamondbacks 6 for 22 in that department with all their pitchers and catchers. That one's in the dirt, and Span had a secondary lead, but the ball blocked out in front. So 2 5-hit games within a week, 342 batting average, top 5, 38 hits, and he's only played in 29 games coming in. And softball numbers for the last week.
First guy ever in Nats history to have 2 5-hit games in the same season.
And he did it almost in the same week. Breaking ball up. Slowed down by the pitcher. They're still going to be able to turn the 4-6-3. In fact, a 1-4-6-3.
Well, that was maybe his 6th consecutive hit. A little redirect here from Ruby De La Rosa. Right to Chris Owings, flips it to Ahmed for the 4-6-3 double play. Pretty nice turn by the Diamondbacks shortstop. We've been told that that guy could pick it, but another hard hit ball off the bat of Yunel Escobar.
He had 2 well struck balls by the Nats to start the game. JAYSON WERTH is next. He contributed last night. Early walk, a run scored, a sac fly. And by the way, Escobar, the only batter who has ever faced De La Rosa, now 0 for 3 against him. All the other Nats giving their first look live and in person at the right-hander.
I got to check out Yunel Escobar's bat next time around. He said he was retiring it after last night's game. Said it served its purpose. It was the first time he used it. It had 5 hits in it, and he was putting it to bed.
Is it going to Cooperstown? I mean, what's he going to do with it?
His personal Cooperstown.
1-1 to Worth. And JAYSON hits one sharply right at Nick Ahmed, who has gone 21 games at shortstop since he last made an error. So the Nats, not a 1-2-3, but Span did have a base hit. the achiever in you. And by visitannapolis.org. Find the Chesapeake experience at visitannapolis.org. Panels open, roofs open. Lots of Nats fans, some players' families out here. Saw Scott Hairston and his two boys visiting the dugout during BP today. Great to see Scott. Here's Ender Inciarte, the center fielder, hitting .310. And he's third among National League outfielders who have enough at-bats to qualify in the batting race. Paul Goldschmidt had one AB last night. They pulled him out of a lopsided game. And they have Aaron Hill at third and Owings at second base tonight.
Last start, that fastball averaged 95. Curveball 80, changeup 88. 3 innings left with the bad back through 64 pitches. And all eyes on Steven Strasburg here tonight in the desert. 7th start of the year, 4.73 ERA. And what the league is hitting against him is uncharacteristic, 3.09 average.
Yeah, sure is. 245 last year. Pretty good looking fastball under the hands of the left-hander. And the count's 1-1. Going with the heater on the first 3 pitches. And it's looking quick. Inciarte 0 for 3 career against Steven, who against the Diamondbacks is 3-1 in 6 starts with a 2.25 ERA. D-backs are 5th in the league in hitting. That's batting average and in runs. Pulls out the breaking ball and gets a foul on 1-2.
How about Inciarte hitting better against lefties than righties? 344 against lefties this year. And 306 against righties. Probably in there against Gio tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd like to see his spray chart. I bet against lefties he stays on the ball and goes the other way, huh?
I'm going to say he gets hits.
1-2 and a check swing is over the screen.
He can run. He can get an infield single. He's a good outfielder.
Aha! Ask and the crew will give it to us. 28 of the hits either up the middle or opposite field. Doesn't walk a whole lot for a guy who leads off, just 4 times this year. Here's the changeup. That's a fair ball as it gets down to Ryan Zimmerman for an easy first out.
A little cricket action from Ender Inciarte to start this one up. It's at the defense for the Nats tonight. Worth Span Harper, Desmond Escobar, Espinosa Zimmerman, Wilson Ramos, same soup as yesterday. And why would you change if you're Matt Williams? 14-game hitting streak for the Buffalo. Big double last night, cleared the bases.
There's Mark Trumbo, who we didn't get to see last night. In his career, 0 for 8 against Max Scherzer, so he didn't get the start. And that's a fastball away. 29-year-old Mark Trumbo hitting .287. Good looking fastball down the middle. He hits it hard, but it's right at DENARD Span. The command of the fastball, pretty good so far. That one got a lot of the plate, but hey, there's a guy in center field. 2 down.
I'm singing Smooth Operator in the order.
Everybody who works in our scoreboard control room back home is now humming.
Every Nats fan.
They are in unison. Smooth Operator.
It's catchy. I like it.
Here's Paul Goldschmidt. He and Strasburg have had some interesting get-togethers. 5 out of 12. A couple of RBIs. He's hitting .431 his last 13 games. And his .342 ties him with Escobar. At least it did coming in. Escobar's had 1 AB, and that's low, 2-0.
That was a slider right there from Steven Strasburg at 91. And you remember he canned the slider last year, just went fastball, curveball, change. He just threw a slider. It's the first one I've seen him throw this year.
96.
Down the zone, 96.
Then 90. Takes a little bit off, and it's 3-1. Goldschmidt walks a lot, as you might expect. They don't give him a ton of protection in this batting order. He's walked 20 times, 4th most in the league. Fastball up, and it'll be 21. Got to bring in the left fielder, David Peralta.
Left field, number 6.
Tried to go extra fastball right here behind the count. Let it rip.
Strasburg now 11 walks, 32 strikeouts in exactly 33 innings this year. Peralta 1 for 2 with a home run against him. Gets ahead with 94.
So the way Steven explained that last start for me is that, you remember he hit the pothole in spring training while he was running his ankle, and he's overcompensating for his ankle. Then his hips got tight. When his hips got tight, he really couldn't open up the way he wanted to, and then the back got stiff. And when the back got stiff, it affected his glove side release point on the fastball to where he's feeling something.
Wow, what a jump. Goldschmidt could have walked into second base there, and the ball fouled away by Peralta. Yeah, so it's going back almost 2 months now, one thing leading to another.
Yeah, and the reason you talk about all that, and Max Scherzer, when he missed that start with his sprained thumb, didn't want to compensate or overcompensate for something, and he wanted his mechanics to be perfect and not create injury. And I think that might have been something Steven Strasburg was thinking about his last start of, hey, well, you know, my ankle to my hips to my back, now I'm feeling my shoulder. What's going on? So he wanted to stay in that game. And he was really frustrated that there were some erroneous reports out the next day about his shoulder, and it was really his back.
David Peralta broke in last year at the age of 26. He had 70 hits in his first 63 games in the big league, setting a new Arizona record. Went on to hit 286 in 88 ball games. Minor league free agent, signed less than 2 years ago. He's a former pitcher who was in the St. Louis organization pitching 2005 to 2007.
I think Goldschmidt's a guy you just have to pay attention to, and once you do that, you're okay, even though he has all the stolen bases early in the season. He's kind of an ambush guy.
Yeah, 6 out of 7 so far. Danny Espinosa, couple of steps on to the right field grass. 0-2 the count stays as the battle continues. Goldschmidt stays, and the off-speed pitch, ball 1 low. Cubs have picked up 3, and they lead the Mets 3-0. Beat them last night, trying to give the Nats more help tonight.
Syndergaard's debut.
And he's pitching against Jake Arrieta at Wrigley Field. And the 1-2 pitch, way outside. Marlins getting ready for another one in LA. Boy, what a crushing night for them again last night. I've lead into the ninth, and Steve Cishek blew another save.
I've never seen a pitcher that rattled after blowing a save as I saw with Cishek last night. I mean, he was almost in tears in his own dugout.
Two. Target in from Ramos. And as he got jammed, Peralta puts it into left field. That's a great at bat. He was behind 0-2, and now it's 2-on-2 out.
Yeah, fastball in. Watch this. Inside out swing. And he didn't really even know where it was. He's looking for it up in the air. It was a line drive to left. And a little 2-out rally here in the first for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, and Aaron Hill's been maybe their best hitter, along with Goldschmidt recently. 12 for his last 28. 33-year-old infielder. 3 home runs in the last 10 games, driving in 7. And Steven misses away, so he got the first 2 batters pretty quickly.
20 pitch first and counting, but there's a lot of bullets in the chamber after a 64 pitch 3-inning stint last time. I don't think that's quite a big deal yet. Extra day's rest for Strasburg.
He's done nothing to hurt himself, falling behind in the first inning all year. And a 1-1, good looking changeup to the right-handed hitter.
Still haven't seen a curveball. I've seen one slider. We've thrown fastball, change, and slider at 91. And why is that news? Because he hasn't thrown one all year.
Well, batters tinker and sometimes pitchers do. Fastball up, and that is trouble. Right center. It's going to put Arizona on top by a couple as Aaron Hill continues his great hitting. He now has 9 RBIs in his last 11 ball games. 2-0.
Fastball up. And Hill does a really good job of getting on top of this pitch. That might have been by design. Maybe not as high as Steven wanted it, but Aaron Hill climbed the ladder, got on top of it, a lot of backspin into the gap. So 2 outs, nobody on. Leads to 2-0 Diamondbacks. A walk, a single, and a double. All with 2 outs.
And an early visit from the pitching coach. Chris Owings now, the .221 hitting second baseman who started it short last night. That was Aaron Hill's 4th career hit against Strasburg, and now gives him 4 career RBIs against Steven. Owings is 0 for 3 against the Nats starter. And a big time curveball for a strike.
I don't think it was a walk to Paul Goldschmidt so much as the fact that when he stole that base, he had such a good jump as you look at the first curveball from Strasburg. There was a lot of attention all of a sudden paid to Goldschmidt, and maybe the focus kind of shifted toward the base runner and not the hitter, and that's why it's 2-0.
Hard hit, Danny Espinosa, right there. So a couple of runs early. Bryce Harper and Ryan Zimmerman have been unbelievable lately. We'll lay some numbers on you about how good these guys have been. 4 and 5. Zimmerman. These guys have been amazing lately, so let's check American Standard. Who's hot? Dynamic duo since the 6th of May. And so for the last 5 games, these guys are hitting just under 475. Look at the homers, the RBIs, and the runs scored. And Ryan Zimmerman is up in the top 5 in the National League in RBIs. Celebrate the season with the American Standard All-Star Sales Event. Visit MidAtlanticComfort.com for amazing rebate and financing opportunities.
Zimmerman stays hot, Harper stays hot. Simple. If Ryan isn't swinging the bat well, no one's going to pitch to Bryce. He'll see nothing to hit.
Harper, this one down the left field line with some carry on it, and it'll be run down and caught by David Peralta. Foul ball when he grabbed it. Great play.
Spectacular play by David Peralta. Watch how far he goes for this ball, and it's an inside-out swing. What does that mean? It's got inside-out rotation. It's fading away from Peralta, so even though he had a long way to go, that ball was actually going toward the stands. He knew where he was. It's his home ballpark, into a slide. And a nice play, and Ruby De La Rosa approves.
Here's Zimmerman. Fastball tailing to the inside edge. Big blow last night. The big early game blow that turned a 1-run lead into a 4-0. A little bit low. So Ryan now is hit safely in 12 of his last 14 ball games. Took the outside edge with 95.
I mean, if you could jump on De La Rosa early. He sat in the dugout last night. He watched the barrage. There's a feeling out process for this right-hander early in the game. And he saw a ball club that's swinging the bat. So what do? You formulate a game plan. You go out there, and you're wondering if your stuff plays against this hot lineup. You hit a couple line drives off him, get a couple hits off him. Now he's thinking, man, I remember what happened last night. And I don't know if my stuff's good enough to get these guys out. Imperative that the Nats get on them early.
At home, he's 2-0 with a 3.26 ERA. That's about 2.5 runs better than he is on the road. Ryan Zimmerman scorching one to center, and that's by Ender Inciarte. Zimmerman to second base. The ball covered up well by David Peralta. And if Ryan's 100% with the legs and the feet, that's a triple at least for him. But another extra base hit for Ryan Zimmerman.
Wilson Ramos.
Well, Span hit his ball reasonably hard. You know, Escobar hit his ball hard. Bryce kind of sliced that one down the corner. Now Ryan Zimmerman hits the ball hard to center field. Pretty good effort by Inciarte. He knows the runner and knew that he wasn't going to give up a triple, selling out for that ball. 10th double of the year for Zimmerman.
Yeah, Ryan's got some extra base hits piling up here. And a big spot for Wilson Ramos, who's in the top 10 in the National League now, with runners in scoring position, batting .407. Fastball tails back to the outside half.
How about giving Peralta a little bit of credit too after going to the line for that ball, running all the way to center to back that up.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing short about center field here at all. Left center, right center, two of the biggest dimensions in all of baseball. Target in. Ramos jammed, and the bat barrel broke and flew back to the screen.
Bat died not a hero. And his screen saved somebody's life. Watch the bat go behind Wilson Ramos.
So the longest current hitting streak in the National League matches his career high of 14 games. STG taking us inside some streaky numbers. Wilson gets jammed, and it will get over the Nats dugout.
So, do you notice a difference in the ballpark tonight? They closed the windows.
Well, they just closed the panels, didn't they?
These ones down here are closed. Last night they were open, and she was flying out of here left and right.
Wonder why they did that.
Because last night they were open, and she was flying out of here left and right.
I wonder how they're allowed to do that.
They can do whatever they want. It's their windows.
It is a little breezy in the Valley of the Sun today.
I mean, why do you open and close the windows in your house? Because you want to, right?
Yeah, no, but I don't have 18 guys playing against each other in my house. I don't have a commissioner. Well, I'm married to one.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do. 2 outs on the fastball up. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Kind of a run back fastball. There's that arm side swing back I was talking about at 97. He's touched 100 before. And like you said, a little guy, 6'1", generating a lot of power.
Ian Desmond, 297 over his last 9 games. Trying to get that batting average. First things first, over 240 on the way to 250 and take it from there. He got a first pitch heater, 96. As the catcher visits, the shortstop hustles in.
And the signs are switched. I'm having trouble getting used to the pitcher being number 12, FYI. Don't see that too often.
0-1 pitch. On a pitch up, a scorcher, a one-hopper, and Paul Goldschmidt takes care of that. Yeah, he can play first base too. He's a complete ball player. Middle of the second, the Valley of the Sun in Phoenix, 2-0 D-backs.
Adjustment last week. Steven Strasburg went about trying to make a mechanical adjustment to get himself more online throwing towards the plate as compared to kind of crossfire. Now, the focus for Strasburg, Matt Williams said today, was on his front foot. If he closes himself off a bit, then he throws across his body, and the Nats feel that might have contributed to his back issue. The adjustment should take some strain off of his upper body, allowing Strasburg to get the ball to his glove side away from a righty. We'll watch for that today.
Well,
there's that slider.
And I'm looking straight down the line, and his stride is right toward home. Not really cross-firing a whole lot. Making that adjustment you're talking about.
That was Dan with our Coons.com sideline report. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons.
I mean, if you're working on being more direct to the plate as a pitcher, what a better place with that little dirt strip.
Yeah.
If you're straight down toward the home plate.
Tuffy GOSEWICH, the catcher here, hitting .235. And Strasburg threw him a big breaking ball that's popped up. Yeah, we get a little twilight time here, too. Escobar often does that. He'll mimic Ian Desmond while he catches a pop fly.
Just took a page out of Adrian Beltre's book right there with that. That was nice.
Shortstop number 13.
The Washington Nationals Fans Choice Flex Packs are on sale now. Choose from some of the season's best matchups. When you pick 4 games, you get 1 free. How about that? Go to nationals.com/flex to pick your games today. You guys into it? I like it.
Cubs now 4-0 over the Mets. And Atlanta gave up a late run tonight and lost 4-3 at Cincinnati. Here in Arizona, Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, hitting a .130. 27 ball games, 10 for 77. He had 14 hits for the D-backs in his debut last year. And that one really got Kerwin Danley.
I want to say that Kerwin Danley's had concussion problems in the past, and that's why he's went to that new mask. Gone to that new mask. But that was a direct hit.
Ken Crenshaw, the Diamondbacks head athletic trainer, helping out the umpire there.
Yeah, he's had a number of concussions. I'm reading on the internet right now. 2008 he had a concussion. 2013 he had a concussion. He was struck in the head by a broken bat, so they're taking inventory. And it's nothing, as we all know now, to mess around with.
He is still staggered, and one of the umpires has left the field and probably heading for the umpire's room to put on the gear. Joe West on your left, the crew chief of this Joe West, Gabe Morales, Rob Drake, Kerwin Danley crew. And it would appear that Kerwin might be done for the night. I mean, you cannot be too careful with these.
And I'm just reading about 2009 when he was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital after he was hit in the head with a bat. So he does have a history. And if you know anything about concussions, it's the frequency that you have them.
And it was on the homestand that a home plate umpire had to leave the game as well. And it turned into quite a lengthy delay for the other ump to get his gear on. So Stephen Strasburg, some of the other Nats heading for the dugout here because this will be an extended period of time. So Kerwin Danley is done here in the bottom of the second.
Let's take a look at it again. I mean, this is a direct blow. I mean, it can't hit you any more spur than that. We hope he's okay.
So the gentleman will work with a 3-man crew as soon as we confirm who the umpire is. It's either Gabe Morales or Rob Drake that's putting on the home plate umpiring gear. We'll take a break and bring you back to Chase Field in Phoenix in just a moment. Nats and all of us have a little experience in this area because we lost a home plate umpire in a ball game recently, and the guys know what a long pause it is. Now, number 30 there is Rob Drake. So it's Gabe Morales, who, by the way, just joined the crew tonight for Game 2 of the series, replacing DJ Rayburn, who has gone into the umpire's room to put on the home plate umpiring gear. I'd like to welcome those of you who were watching the Orioles lose 10-2 to Toronto tonight at the Yards, and we welcome you to bonus coverage on Masson at Chase Field in Phoenix. Bob Carpenter, FP Santangelo, and Dan Coco. It's a 2-0 lead for the Diamondbacks on an Aaron Hill 2-run double with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning after a 2-out walk to Paul Goldschmidt and a base hit by David Peralta. So that's pretty much it. Ryan Zimmerman 1 out in the second. His 10th double of the year, straight away to center. And here's how it happened with Aaron Hill.
Yeah, fastball up, just tomahawked it into the gap. That would score Goldschmidt, who walked, Peralta, who singled. That's tough to get on top of 95, 96 like that. So a nice piece of hitting by Aaron Hill. The 2-out walk comes back to haunt Steven Strasburg. And now we'll all cross our fingers and hope that Kerwin Danley is okay. Remember, Kerwin Danley also went to San Diego State. He played baseball with Tony Gwynn there. So you got a pitcher from San Diego State, an umpire from San Diego State, and that's where we're going tomorrow.
On Saturday, April 18th, Brian Knight got hurt during a game when the Nats were playing the Phillies. He got knocked out. He was the home plate umpire that night. And then the next day, Tom Woodring came in to replace him. So the Nats, as I said, have been down this road before. And that time, everybody was standing around on the field and, you know, throwing a few warm-up tosses that night. It was Jordan Zimmerman on the mound when that happened. And now the Nats know from experience this takes a while. So Strasburg and Ramos will now just come out and play a little catch. And then, of course, when the home plate umpire comes out, he wants to see a few pitches, too. So that'll be a few extra tosses for Steven, throwing the ball to Wilson Ramos as well. ...2007 on May the 12th. And at RFK Stadium, Austin Kearns hit one out to deep center against the Marlins. I think that's Abercrombie, the center fielder. He thought the ball had deflected off his glove and gone over the wall. And Austin Kearns got the piano off his back and got an inside the park home run in the raindrops. You folks might remember later that night, or shall we say early the next morning, Ryan Zimmerman hit a walk-off homer in the wee hours against the then Florida Marlins, and that's our moment in history from May 12th, 2007.
Interesting to see how this delay affects Steven Strasburg, a guy that at times in his career has let other things out of his control affect him. We'll see if he can lock it in.
So there's Gabe Morales, and he'll come out. He wants to see some pitches as well. He called that one a strike, I believe.
It was 88 on pitch track. You see that? Watch.
Strasburg with a BP fastball.
We got the warm-up pitches down on the right. That was 89.
Show him the heat, Steve.
That's interesting. You never see the gun on warm-up pitches. Yeah. How fast is Steven Strasburg warm-up fastball? 90. Yeah.
Gabe checking to make sure Steven's ready. So good job by Gabe Morales to get ready in a hurry. And it'll be a 3-man crew. Joe West and Rob Drake will handle the bases as Kerwin Danley has been knocked out of the ball game. The count is 1-1 to the shortstop, Nick Ahmed. Earlier in this inning, Tuffy GOSEWISCH, the number 7 hitter, had popped up to Ian Desmond. So the 1-1 pitch is outside. As we mentioned, Ahmed hitting a .130 right now. Only 10 hits in his first 27 games this year. Fastball, a good one. Counts even 2-2. And held on to the changeup. Obviously too long. Count goes full with the pitcher on deck.
Good take by Ahmed right there. That could have gone either way.
Fastball got him swinging on 96 away, 2 down. Strasburg's first K of the night. Nissan will track it.
Good location, little swing back. Probably a ball, but at 96, you don't have a lot of time to wait around. You know, watching Steven for, what, 5 years now? It looks like he's really grinding right now, thinking about his mechanics more than just free-flowing pitching. And I don't want to get too deep because he's the most overanalyzed player in baseball, but you can just kind of tell based on Mass and Dan's report that he's really thinking about it. Like that's a good example was that changeup that he just spiked.
Yeah.
Like
1-1 to De La Rosa, who's 0 for 13 this year. 3 for 29 career. And he bounces one up the middle, but Ian Desmond was shading that way, and he ranges to his left. 1-2-3 inning. It was a long one, and now it'll be Espinosa, Strasburg, and Span coming up.
Everybody's doing it. Features include incredible benefits, discounts, exclusive events, and more. For a limited time, if you're in the Nats Plus Cool Club, new members can also receive an official 10th anniversary Nats jersey. That's while supplies last. Go to nationals.com/Nats Plus and join these guys today. Look at the signs. All right.
Is that the same lady who had the fan of the game sign last night, who had all the phony facial hair?
Yeah, I think
that's her.
Very modest.
Yeah. Well, she's trying to make it 2 in a row and win the series.
Hey, everybody, I'm a fan of the game.
Well, we put her on 3 times. She must be. She made her twice last night. Well done, man.
I like it.
Espinosa, Strasburg, and Span. 23 pitches, 17 strikes. First 2 innings for Ruby De La Rosa. Danny Espinosa hitting .340 his last 13 games. Fastball a little bit outside. Danny left-handed .246 this year, .265 overall. That's a good take on 92, ball 2.
So De La Rosa is the guy that had to sit over there for a long time. At least Steven Strasburg had a lather going. You know, he had a rhythm going. De La Rosa, we'll see if he can get back into his mechanics or if he got cold sitting over there for however long that was.
Change up and Espinosa not biting, 3-0.
2-0 changeup to the 8-hole hitter.
Yeah.
Respect for Danny Espinosa.
And a no-no in the National League is a 4-pitch walk to the number 8 hitter, unless first base is open with 2 outs maybe and runners in scoring position. So here's the rest of the road trip. Tomorrow afternoon here in Arizona, Jeremy Hellickson 1-3 with a 5.85 ERA for the D-backs. Gio trying to win his 4th game. He's 3-2 with a 3.62. And he's also unbeaten with a 2-0 record and a great ERA career against Arizona. Strasburg squaring early. And he bumps it straight down, and that hurt Tuffy GOSEWISCH.
Not a good night to be behind the plate with gear on. Straight down up under the mask. The only place. Got him right in the Adam's apple.
Wow.
Looks like he's okay. Easy for me to say.
Number of years, some of the catchers went to the low-hanging flap at the bottom of their gear after Steve Yeager got hurt way back when. But now, you know, pretty standard. The mask comes down, but obviously from the side view, that got right up under the chin guard. Strasburg stabbing at a breaking ball, and now it's no balls, 2 strikes. See, the ump has one. Gabe Morales has that low-hanging guard there. And an 0-2. That's a pretty good 0-2 bunt right there. That's a great 0-2 bunt. And the ball almost didn't beat Steven Strasburg to first base. So for Strasburg, his first sacrifice this year. Here's more with Dan on Span.
Bob, I talked to DENARD Span recently about his extra base hit prowess early on this season. Hit his 3rd homer last night, 10 extra base hits on the season, up from his normal career averages to this point. And he said that he feels that he's just in sync with his lower half, that when he's able to generate things from that lower half, it really can turn into extra base hits because he's able to kind of turn on the ball and drive it into the gaps. He feels good, as he told FP in the pregame, about where his approach is at in terms of his mechanics, and it all stems from that lower half.
A chance to get the Nationals on the board here. It's the 2nd time tonight they've had a runner at second base with 1 out.
Well, what Dan's talking about is when he gets that front foot down early, his head doesn't move at all, and his bat is so quick, his hands are so quick, he can let the ball travel deeper than any Nationals hitter. I mean, he takes it right out of the catcher's glove at times. And that's because his stride leg is down and he's ready to hit.
1-1. You know, we've always known DENARD is such a deliberate hitter, in between pitches, digging in, holding the hand back for time for the umpire. But there is nothing about these new rules that have hurt what he's doing at the plate. I mean, he's just hitting the ball great, so he's working within the new rules and doing quite well. That was nasty. Looked like a fastball, just about all the way in. 88 diving on him, and the count's 1-2.
What And that also, with 2 strikes, allows you to, you know, wait and see and not be fooled. You're not jumping out at pitches. That's why he's such a good hitter with 2 strikes and with runners in scoring position.
Has 7 of his 9 RBIs. The pitcher takes his time, but you, of course, do not have to hang in there.
Some attitudes.
Well, he's seen the ball well. Not fooled by the 86. And the count's full with 1 out.
Well, the book on De La Rosa is that he gets away from his fastball at times, that he throws 95 to 97, and he falls in love with the off speed, and you're seeing a lot of it right now.
It was Mercedes-Benz on the pitch track. Talking with Bob Miller today, the Nats assistant GM, during batting practice. He was with Cincinnati. He's watched Johnny Cueto a lot the last few years. We're talking about Max Scherzer last night. Bob made an interesting statement. He said, you know, there aren't too many pitchers in baseball who aren't trying to fool people, talking about having the great fastball and maybe not using it enough. He said Max Scherzer was fantastic doing that last night, and he said that's what he saw from Johnny Cueto for years. Guys who go with their strength and don't try to get too cute out there at times.
He's just aggressive in everything he does. He attacks. And he was great on Intentional Talk today, by the way, on the MLB Network. Hilarious. If you missed it, you got to watch it.
3-2 with 1 out. Span takes the breaking ball to left center. Scoring easily will be Danny Espinosa. And Denard Span, you guys talked about the lower half and driving the ball. There's another extra base hit. And the Nats are on the board for Denard, RBI number 10.
In my opinion, the key to driving in runners in scoring position is not being afraid to hit with 2 strikes. So many times you see hitters all around the league get anxious in these situations. They jump out at the first pitch. They're swinging at everything. But Denard Span is so good at not panicking. I don't care if I'm 3-1 or 0-2. I have the same approach. You see it right there. Gets the Nats on the board. Nice piece of hitting by the Nats center fielder.
11th extra base hit, 8 doubles to go with 3 home runs. And here's Escobar, who hit the ball sharply up the middle first time. Pitcher deflected it for a 1-4-6-3 double play. That's a great take on a fastball coming right under his hands. 8 days between 2 hit games, actually 2 in 8 days. Nobody had done it since 11 years ago when Ichiro was in the process of a season where he had 262 hits.
Give Strasburg credit for the sacrifice bunt. And give Denard Span credit for seeing a lot of pitches like he always does and putting a good swing on it. We might have to do an interview tomorrow, too, at this rate.
Denard, by the way, now hitting .311 with his 2 for 2 tonight. Escobar got one out over the plate, but it's bounced over to Chris Owings. And that's the 2nd out of the inning, with Span going to 3rd.
You want to see 10 hits, quick style? Check this out. 1. Let's count together, kids, if you're still up. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the first game. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 for Yunel Escobar. 2 5-hit games. And that's also a good example of how the game is sped up this year.
That little roller through the right side of the infield last night, though, did take a while. Perfectly placed. Hey, if you're going to get 5 hits, you got to have one of those, right? Worth a hot shot to short first time. Tying run 90 feet away. Nats have been great with 2-out hits throughout this season. Early, they were a lot of 2-outs, bases empty hits, but not now. Men aboard, driving in runs. On a pitch up, Worth goes the other way, and Mark Trumbo is under. The Nats make the leadoff walk pay off with a Strasburg sacrifice and a Denard Span RBI double.
a pool in right center field. Just do a big old cannonball in front of all those kids. If you get in that pool, I'll vote for you for All-Star In-Game Reporter. Nats fans, 2015 MLB All-Star voting has begun, and for the first time, voting will be online. Help get your Nats to Cincinnati in July. Go to nationals.com/vote to place your votes today. I vote for you. Now Escobar.
Bottom of the third, top of the order. Ender Inciarte for the Diamondbacks. Strasburg curveball, low and inside. He bounced out to Ryan Zimmerman to start the offensive evening for the home team. 2-1 ball game now. Nats have actually had more hits than the D-backs, 3/2. There's the fastball, hit high in the air to right. Harper going back. All he can do is watch. And Ender Inciarte hits his first home run of the year. And the 5th of his big league career.
Well, I think it's safe to say I didn't see this one coming. 1-0 fastball in the inner half. Right where they wanted it. It's not like he missed his spot. Inciarte obviously looking in there. Gets that run right back.
Yeah. Coming into this game, Steven, one of the top 5 pitchers in the league in keeping the ball in the park. 0.28 home runs per 9 innings pitched, and he gave up 1 here tonight. Here's TRUMBO, a big, strong guy, too.
Slider.
Yeah, that was nasty. 0-2. Gio also on that list, 0.24. He'll pitch here tomorrow. STG takes us inside the stingiest home run pitchers in baseball. And those are the numbers coming into tonight. We've seen all of those guys except Tim Lincecum already this year. There's a nasty changeup for the strikeout. Mark TRUMBO over the top of that. Strasburg, second K of the night.
Well, that's the 2-strike version where the bottom drops out. And he really just let this one rip as hard as he could. Loose grip, out front, split action on the 88-mile-an-hour changeup for strike 3.
That'll bring in Paul Goldschmidt, who walked with 2 outs and nobody aboard in the first inning. 89, slider up in the zone, right in there. And the curveball looked pretty good for a while. This is only Paul Goldschmidt's 4th full season in the big leagues. He's already been to 2 All-Star games. Last year, he had 1.6 million more votes for the first base starter than Adrian Gonzalez. Then he got hurt late in the season, fractured his hand. Hit on the left hand by Ernesto Frieri of the Pirates August 1st, and that ended his season. Two-two pitch. Inside the numbers with Jeep. So 2 of the premier hitters in the league right here. Guys who do it all. Hitting for good average and tons of production.
I would like to see Bryce Harper's numbers if he played 81 games in this ballpark. Woo.
Strasburg at 90 takes a little bit off. And that's his 3rd K.
And I'm wondering, you talk to pitchers about spring training in Arizona, and they really can't get a feel for their off-speed pitches because of the dry air here. There's not a lot of humidity, and I'm wondering if Strasburg has ditched the curveball mostly tonight and gone to the slider for that reason. You don't have to create a lot of spin on the slider. You just kind of grip it and let it rip. We'll see.
Fastball hit hard by David Peralta. And what a good night he's having with 2 hits and a great play in the left field corner. And by the way, at the tail end of that play, Jayson Werth just unleashed the best throw I've seen him make this year. He threw a P into second base for Danny Espinosa. Watch this. Hello. And Aaron Hill will bounce one right side. Ryan Zimmerman, time to go to the bag, and the inning's over. Couple of hits. The leadoff homer by Inciarte. Bryce Harper, the first of our Mazda do-up in the top of the 4th inning. You might not believe this, but Bryce has never hit a home run against the Arizona Diamondbacks, home or road. It might be time tonight. Well, a little action through the viewfinder here. Warm-up tosses from Ruby De La Rosa as he gets ready for the top of the 4th inning. So the Nats have won 6 in a row against the D-backs and 15 of the last 19. Look at the run differential, how they're hitting with runners in scoring position, and the pitching staff going right along with the whole program.
Well, they've had some good at-bats so far in this game. It's just, you feel like that 3-1 isn't that big a deal yet.
Bryce hit a ball that ended up in foul territory, left field corner first time, and David Peralta made an outstanding running, sliding catch.
Got his pitch right there. He's frustrated. He was looking for that fastball right down the heart.
Oh, 2 to Bryce. They won it up, and that was way inside.
I can't keep up. It's no gloves, 1 glove, 2 gloves. My son was texting me during the game last night saying, Dad, he had 1 glove on the first. I said, I can't keep up anymore. I don't know. He's just a field guy. Whatever feels good, he goes with it.
Great take on an 88 changeup.
I'll tell you this, when it's 96 in D.C. and the humidity's 90, he's going to be wearing gloves. It's hard to hold on to a bat when your palms are sweating and your hands are sweating.
Harper way out ahead. Look out.
That thing on his thumb, somebody was asking me the other day, that's kind of to prevent that rattle. When you don't hit a ball square, kind of softens the blow and the bat is vibrating. Thumb guard. There it is.
He shakes once. It's a 2-2 pitch, target away. And Bryce will take it upstairs.
98. Seen his best bolts.
Two in a 2-run game. And Harper rips one to right center. Trying to cut it off, Mark Trumbo can't get there. And Bryce Harper hitting that ball about as hard as you can hit one that stays in the park. But he'll be into second base with his 7th double of the year.
This goes back to my point about how he's a hitter now, and he's going to hit 300. If you pitch him away, he's taking his singles to left. If you pitch him in, he's getting on top of the ball to right. But more importantly, and the point I want to make, is he fouled off a number of tough pitches to get to this one. And it's just stuff that he hasn't done in the past. When I say next level stuff, when you're fouling off pitchers' pitches, tough pitches with 2 strikes, and you might look funny on a few, and then you get that, that's how you hit 300. That was a great at-bat.
Bryce with his 2nd hit of this series. He's been on base 3 times. Ryan Zimmerman hit the daylights out of it first time. Out to center, just a little offset to the left side, and Enciarte couldn't get there. That was a 1-out double in the 2nd. He never made it beyond second base.
I mean, he threw him 98 on the black and he flicked it away like it was nothing to get that pitch to drive it into the gap. It's not that easy.
On a pitch up, Zimmerman a base hit. Harper had to go back because that ball was close to being caught. So Bryce will stop at 3rd, and the Nats have something going on here in the 4th inning. Runners at the corners, nobody out.
Well, they've been swinging it well. They've been giving De La Rosa some trouble in an elevated fastball. Ryan Zimmerman playing the game the right way, trying to move the runner. Good base running by Bryce Harper to jab back right there. Another example of how he's under control. Had to make sure it was through. Runners at the corner, nobody out. Game on.
Mike Harkey, Arizona pitching coach. And you talk about a couple of loud sounds in this ballpark. Harper and Zimmerman just did it. Ryan 2 for 2 tonight. So next up is Ramos and then Desmond.
Hit speed on Bryce's double, 111 miles an hour. Some of the highest we've seen this year. I think you're in the desert. That's okay. 111's already.
It's a dry heat coming off the bat. Wilson Ramos caught looking first time. But he's been great with runners in scoring position. He got a pitch. That's going to be a 4-3 double play. Harper will score, and it's a 3-2 game.
Love hearing the dugout chatter right there. That boy, Hart.
Second double play turned by the D-backs behind De La Rosa tonight. Here's Ian Desmond. Hit the ball hard first time. That one hopper that Paul Goldschmidt picked off. That's right in there. Front door breaking ball. And it's 0-2. To the right side with authority again, but Owings right there. Things happening quickly in the 4th inning, but the Nats are a run closer. Harper's double, Zimmerman single, and some young Nats fans have that natitude here in Arizona. It's now a 3-2 game.
Chase Field. The Nationals have been playing much cleaner defensive ball lately after a very rough start to the season in that regard. And I asked defensive coordinator Mark Wiedemeyer what he attributes that improvement to. He's noted that early in the season, the Nats didn't have much continuity with a number of position changes and injuries, and said it takes time for guys to get used to playing in a new spot or with a new player beside him. And beyond that, Wiedemeyer said that a player or a team has to fail sometimes in order to say, let's go, let's fix this. He's been very pleased with the effort shown the last handful of weeks in terms of extra pregame work, and feels the defensive improvement has been a major part of why the Nats have surged overall recently.
Well, a couple of ball clubs in the league now have more errors than Washington. Nats have been kind of standing still in that department. That's fine. Milwaukee and the Cubs. That ball gashed by Chris Owings. He lined hard to Danny Espinosa first time up. That one's already out at the 4:13 mark. And the throw into third, not in time. This ballpark, the deepest left center and right center field gaps, the deep gaps in all of baseball.
Well, the Nats looking for the shutdown inning. They scored a run in the top of the third. The Diamondbacks answered the bottom. They scored a run in the top of the fourth, and now a leadoff triple by Chris Owings, and he can fly.
His second of the year. 7-8-9 now. Tuffy GOSEWISCH, the catcher. Infield's in. And Williams liking the way that he wants Strasburg stuff to play against the bottom of their order here in a one-run game.
I'm as shocked about Steven Strasburg's slider tonight as I was about Danny Espinosa hitting left-handed when he did it. I mean, this is a pitch he hasn't thrown since early last season, and that was a slider on the triple.
There's the changeup. That's over the drawn-in infield. And the Diamondbacks answer again. It's now 4-2. They've got their two-run lead back.
They're on the Strasburg off speed in this inning. That was a changeup right there for a base hit.
Number 8 hitter, the shortstop, AHMED. First time up after slamming that foul ball into the mask of Kerwin Danley. He was struck out swinging by Strasburg. That's right in there at 95. Then he goes with the hook. And rule to take. That's Rob Drake down there working first base. The runner aboard, Joe West, third base umpire, out near second.
Look at that from the side. I think they got it right.
Mets are batting at the top of the ninth at Chicago, down 6-1 to the Cubs. Marlins underway at Dodger Stadium. They're 1-1 third inning. Chase Field in Phoenix, 11 p.m. back home. Still early in the evening here. Right now we're watching Steven Strasburg try to get through 4 innings. 4 runs on 6 hits already. And a breaking ball. Base hit. 3 consecutive hits by the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. And De La Rosa now a big time chance to bunt a couple of runners ahead.
But it's all with the off speed.
Pitcher, Ruby.
And the reason I'm saying that is you watch that whole sequence to Ahmed right there. He wasn't getting to Stevens' fastball, even though it was 94, 95. He was late. He was fouling it off over the Nats dugout. He swung and missed at one. Then he's telling you that his bat speed can't handle your heater. This is a guy hitting 130, and then you throw him a curveball, and you do him a favor. He catches it out front, base hit. Same for the leadoff triple. Same for GOSEWICH's hit.
And De La Rosa, kind of a hard bunt, and Strasburg took a peek to third base, and everybody's safe. And that's going to be Stevens' second consecutive game making an error fielding his position.
Well, he just peeked up. He was in between. His body was set for first, and he thought about going to third, and he was in between. Watch this. He set up for first, then he peeks to third. His body was in no position to throw it to third, even if he caught it, based on he was already thinking 1-1-1, and for whatever reason looked at third, took his eye off it, and Nats need a 20-second timeout.
And the Nationals make their first error in 6 games. And the last time they made an error was Steven Strasburg's throw in his last start. Bases loaded, nobody out. Here's Inciarte. Strike 1.
Tough guy to double up. You got to go to your strikeout stuff right here and let it all out. I mean, you can't leave anything in the tank.
And if it wasn't for Ramos, he would have thrown that one away.
And that bunt play, in my opinion, is Steven Strasburg's night so far in a nutshell. In between. He was in between going to third, going to first. He's been in between the changeup and the fastball. Hasn't really thrown too many curveballs. He's thrown a slider. He's just been in between. And right now, he's got to, like I said before, let it all rip.
Left-hander Sammy Solis coming off another good 8th inning at home against Atlanta on Sunday.
And what I mean by in between, Carp, is kind of, you know, you're not committed to the pitch you're about to throw. Like all in on that pitch, on this, to this hitter right now. Okay, we're going fastball. We're getting my best fastball I possibly have. Changeup, all right. I'm all in. Let's do this. I'm throwing the best changeup I've ever thrown. It could be a mechanical issue, or it could be just thinking too much. I don't know.
Run home. Bases loaded, nobody out. 2-2.
Same thing goes from a hitter standpoint. If I dig in the batter's box and I'm looking fastball, you're going to make me look like an idiot on a changeup, a slider, a curve, and a split. But if you throw me that fastball, I'm hitting it hard somewhere. And when a hitter's in between, he's kind of a fastball, maybe a change. And you're getting streaks like that as a hitter, too. Same way.
That was a changeup. Hit out to center for Span. The Diamondbacks will have a 3-run lead, and they'll move 2 runners ahead with GOSEWICH scoring and Nick Ahmed to third base.
A productive out. He got both jobs done. Got the runner in from third and the runner on second over to third with one out. Good at bat right there for Ender Inciarte. He's a good player.
Mark Trumbo has bounced into 4 double plays. And on a pitch up, that's a 3-run homer, and it's a bomb. Strasburg will make it through 4, actually 3 1/3 innings. Came in averaging just over 5 innings per start, and that average will go down tonight. Diamondbacks are up by 6, and here comes Sammy Solis. The telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Rough night for Steven Strasburg. 8 runs, 7 earned in 3 1/3 on 8 hits. 2 home runs given up, and here's Sammy Solis. He'll face Paul Goldschmidt, trying to settle this thing down.
Fastball in the mid-90s. Curveball change to go with it. Works fast. Very confident out there. 4th major league appearance. And I think the Nats are 10-2 since he's been called up, if I'm not mistaken. So keep that rabbit foot in your back pocket. And if they win tonight, give him a 5-year deal.
2-0 pitch. Got the call on the outside edge. 26 years of age, the rookie. Tommy John surgery 3 years ago, and he has not been afraid of anything since he joined the ball club 2 weeks ago in Atlanta.
I think that's where you have to go to get this guy out. Pound him in with the fastball. And like a lot of good hitters in this league, he likes to get extended. His power's up the middle and the other way.
This ball popped up to the right side. And will get to the edge of the dugout, and Ryan Zimmerman pulls it in. Had a little bit of that comeback spin, and Ryan never gave up on it. 2 outs.
That thing was hit a mile in the air. Maybe that's over exaggeration. 3/4 of a mile. Watch it come back.
Look out, Matt.
Nice play. Not an easy play either. Find the fence. Once you find the fence, find the ball.
David Peralta next. A couple of offensive field hits against Strasburg. Base hit run in the first and a base hit in the third. He'll pull it this time, and Danny Espinosa on the move, and Peralta fell down coming out of the box. So Sammy Solis comes out and gets a couple of quick outs. A lot of damage done, though. Still pretty early in the game. 5th inning coming up. The Nats down by 6. We've learned that's not impossible.
Let's see if the Nats can mount a rally. New York Yankees are going to visit Nats Park for a 2-game set. May 19th and 20th. First 25,000 fans, you get a 10th anniversary tote bag presented by MLB Network on Tuesday, May 19th. Game tickets still available for that series against the Yankees. They're playing well. Go to nationals.com for more information. They're going to be there.
Well, they'll be dancing in the hallways of Agua Fria High School in the morning. Their native son, Sammy Solis, from here in the Phoenix area, just got a couple of outs. And he may pitch for a while because he's on deck. Top of the 5th, Danny Espinosa. The Nats have 5 hits against Ruby De La Rosa. A couple of double play balls have kept him out of some hot water here. Espinosa rips it 1 hop right at Nick Ahmed. 1 out. Sammy does have a big league at bat, 0 for 1.
Pitcher Sammy Solis.
Oh, what better time?
He's got some family here. Somebody told me yesterday, I don't know if this was an exaggeration, somebody from the Diamondbacks told me 150 on the pass list. Where do you get all those?
I'm just going to start telling you stuff and see if it makes it on the air.
If you told me, I would definitely check it out. Well, you know, and maybe they meant 150 here to see him. I have a hard time believing he was able to muster that many tickets. That's on the corner, 2-1.
All right, first big league knock right here. I've been over for like a million calling home runs this year. I'm going to step out there. Why not? 8-2, let it rip.
How about that? There they are. He's had a perfect night. 2 for 2 retiring batters and 1 for 1 as a hitter. What a good kid.
Ball going in the dugout right now. Bat Boy's got it in his hand. So 2-1 count. Right back up the middle. Sammy Solis, you're in the books. Congratulations. First big league knock. I love it.
Don't get picked off.
If they throw over up 8-2 with a pitcher on first, just charge the mound right from there.
Here's DENARD. And he'll try to drop one into center, but it's going to carry to Ender Inciarte. 2 outs.
Swing it.
Next up, Escobar.
Third baseman, Yunel Escobar.
Ball deflected in the first inning with Span on base. Turned into a 1-4-6-3 double play, and then a 4-3 ground ball after the Span RBI double in the third. Front door breaking ball, 83 for a strike. That'll get the outer half.
It's not a strike. That ball's down and away.
And the hitter agrees with you.
Let's see what Pittsburgh has to say. But watch the frame, the presentation. GOSEWISCH's glove almost went to the ground.
And then he gets him on the breaking ball as the strike 2 call influences the at-bat. Sammy Solis' first major league hit. The Nats have left 3 runners.
Game changer, and it was the Diamondbacks bats tonight. And most specifically, Mark Trumbo, home run in the 4th inning. And it was a far one, folks, off the facade. And that would end the night for Stephen Strasburg. 3 1/3, 8 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 2 homers, the ERA at 6.06. And you're wondering if that back or anything from the previous start had something to do with tonight, because he wasn't right from the get-go.
Aaron Hill, 2-run double in 2 trips. 93 inside, it's 2-0. Sammy Solis to get those 2 batters last inning, 9 pitches, 7 strikes. He was originally drafted in the 18th round, 06 by the Diamondbacks, but didn't sign. Went on to the University of San Diego. And Dan told us that when he had his first at bat the other day, it was the first time he'd had a bat in his hands, really in a bona fide ball game since high school. That ball drilled out to center. And the Diamondbacks are swinging the bats tonight the way they were when they were coming into this series, and Scherzer shut them down last night. For the Achiever and UPNC Bank with a minor league report. And Reynaldo Lopez back at it again today against the Blue Rocks of Wilmington. 4 hits, no runs in 6 innings. Walked 2, struck out 6. And at the high A level, he's already 2-0.
He's ready. Call him up.
Here's Chris Owings. Triple last time, got their 5-run 4th underway. And he was cutting that breaking ball in on the right-hander.
Well, I said last night, the second night in on the West Coast trip is the toughest one. First night in, you're still kind of giddy from the trip. It doesn't really hit you that you're playing at midnight.
That ball down the left field line and fair into the corner. Aaron Hill heading for third. He'll be held up by Andy Green. And the Diamondbacks have second and third. Nobody out. Arizona hits. Tuffy GOSEWICH, the catcher, is next.
Probably still a little amped up from his first big league hit. Some of the pitches elevated this inning.
And he got the call low in the zone with 93. No balls, 2 strikes. Gabe Morales, the home plate umpire who took over in the second inning, likes the low strike.
Yeah, and don't forget about the umpires out here tonight. They have one of their guys that left the game, got smoked right in the head. I mean, these guys live together for 6 months. They're a team of 4. They do everything together. They don't have a home ballpark. And when one of their guys goes down, I'm sure they're all out there thinking about it right now, hoping he's okay, probably getting some reports between innings. We haven't heard anything.
And a 1-2 just off the plate. And that ball well fouled. Had him reaching 94 for the strikeout.
Yeah, look at the fam. They're digging it.
They're digging it, Dan.
They are, Bob. This is a huge road trip for Sammy Solis. Not only is he from Phoenix, he played his college ball at University of San Diego, the city that we're going to visit next. As far as on the field, teammates have been really impressed by what Solis has done so far. Drew Storen said that Solis is fearless. He said there's been no deer in the headlights look with him. He just goes out, he attacks guys, and that's really been what the Nationals have liked about him overall. He's thrown a lot of strikes, which they like seeing from their young pitchers.
And I'm sure there's not a manager in baseball who wouldn't like having 3 good lefties in his bullpen. And Matt Williams has that with young Matt Grace and the veteran Matt Thornton.
It's just a matter of him staying healthy. There's no doubt about the makeup. There's no doubt about the stuff. But he's had back and leg injuries. Missed all of 2012, much of 2013 following Tommy John surgery. So if he's healthy, his stuff plays at this level, and he's going to be here. He's an impact guy.
Bases loaded on the intentional walk, and here's De La Rosa. His last bunt was a disaster as Steven Strasburg dropped it, peaking at third base. That loaded him up. Then a sac fly, a Mark Trumbo 3-run homer, and a close game got blown wide open. On the inside edge. And he's going to drop a base hit to right. Bryce fumbles it momentarily, but nobody further advances. And now the Diamondbacks lead 9-2 on Ruby De La Rosa's first big league RBI.
Are you going to say it or am I going to say it? Ruby Tuesday?
He's turned it into one.
Yeah, I guess.
Three hits, an intentional walk in the inning. And here's Inciarte, bases still loaded.
I remember the stat I gave you earlier in the game. He's hitting .344 against lefties this year, 11 for 32, hitting better against left-handers and right-handers.
Ball 2. On a pitch up, fly ball that'll back up Jason Worth. They just have to throw it into third. 2 runners moving up and a pretty strong one-hop throw. And the Diamondbacks now lead 10-2. Every runner moved up.
Even though it's 10-2, that throw's got to go to second base, and it's incumbent on the middle infielders to run out there and start screaming 2-2, 2-2. So you know where to throw the baseball because you're looking up at the fly ball.
Trumbo now 5 homers on the year, 18 RBIs. He's at 114 big league homers, including 34 with the Angels as recently as 2 years ago. And Wilson Ramos crossed up. Runner was coming home, stops, and now we've got a rundown. Escobar chases him. Ramos chases him, and he dives out of the baseline and is out as Nick Ahmed came down the line on a ball that didn't get that far away. So that'll end the inning. Little bizarre ending to the 5th, but the D-backs tag on 2 more.
Dropping down the gauntlet right here to the presidents back in D.C. We're either sleeping right now or out having a cold one. Who knows? But Randy Johnson, the really good-looking one in this bunch, with the mullet going.
Ooh, taunting.
Yeah, I think he wins this one.
Taunting.
Matt Williams, Luis Gonzalez, Mark Grace. I'm just saying the presidents would crush those guys. I mean, they're just short striders. They look slow.
I didn't see who the other one was, but he was holding up a sign that said, "Teddy, I'm coming for you."
Their hats are 142 3/4 size.
Top of the 6th inning. Worth, Harper, and Zimmerman. The Nats are down by 8. Ruby De La Rosa, 65th pitch, 47th in the strike zone. And Jason will crack one out to center. His first base hit of the night. First of the series.
Yeah, bats have been good all night long. A lot of balls squared up, not for hits, and Jason Worth can't hit one any harder than that straightaway center. Low liner. Location mistake. Maybe De La Rosa getting a little bit tired right now, and Worth taking advantage all over that.
Bryce Harper, 111 miles per hour double off his bat last time up. Well, he thought he had a fastball in or half, but it was a changeup diving at 84.
Well, before the 2014 season, De La Rosa spent a lot of time with Pedro Martinez, and that changeup right there was a little reminiscent.
Doubles up, and it's 0-2.
His grandma was actually a nanny to Pedro and Ramon Martinez. That's how that connection blossomed. And you know, at 6'1", throws 97. You can see why he models himself after the great one. But Pedro wasn't 6'1". Three changeups in a row.
'96 sailing away outside, 2-2. Harper gets a big piece of this one to right field, and it is another Bryce Harper home run. He went down and got one, and that's number 12 to make this a 10-4 game.
Shake and bake. 12th home run of the season for Bryce Harper. One too many changeups. Up by 8 from Ruby De La Rosa. Finally made the adjustment. Bryce Harper, number 12. He and Desmond helmet taker off the guy, and good at bat by Jason Worth. Better at bat by Bryce Harper.
Gonna bring that dugout alive here. It's only the 6th inning. Ryan Zimmerman next.
And I may or may not have called that one in the truck, by the way.
You or the truck?
How close are we to Vegas? Because I'm on fire tonight. How close? You always know where everything's at.
It's about a 6-hour drive from here.
All right.
Made that drive before.
See you in the morning. Check out the home run. I stayed through this pitch. Not a bad changeup from De La Rosa down in the zone. And he just kind of digs it out, smooths it out of here. Not a whole lot to it, folks, and that's the way he's been going in 2015. I mean, that was what, about a 75-80% swing by Bryce Harper?
Hit it 390.
Grown man hit that ball.
RBI total shoots up to 31. 3 in this series. And Wilson Ramos, good job checking on the breaking ball. Wilson has a 14-game hitting streak on the line. His ball club needs him on base here with Ian Desmond coming up. Ramos inside out swing on a ball boring in on him. 2 outs.
I bet you the hit speed on that home run not even close to the 111 on his double the time before that.
Agreed.
But still, he had the elevation, barreled it up, kept his hands back nice.
Shortstop, Ian Desmond.
Nats box. RBI, 3rd inning, Span the double. Double play ball from Ramos scored the 2nd run in the 4th, and then Bryce, after the Worth base hit, brings in 2 here in the 6th. Ian Desmond 0 for 2. And in this series, 1 for 7. Big breaking ball strikes him out. The Nats get 2. They'll need to average 2 the rest of the way to get back even. And Bryce Harper, as that piece so aptly described it, smoothing the ball out of here, his 12th of the year.
Harper's swing, want to share it with you, show you how strong this young man is. Watch everything from his hips and his shoulder. We're going to stop it here for you once he starts his swing. Yeah, right about there. That's good. Look at this is spent. This is flied open because he's looking for the fastball. It's all he has left is his eyes on the baseball right there. I'll clear it. And just to roll the wrist. I mean, that's like a half swing. And that ball went 390 feet, and that's why I said a grown man hit that baseball. Hips out, shoulder was out, kept his hands back, and the most important thing of all, he kept his head on the baseball, saw it hit the barrel, he's locked in. I mean, you start hitting home runs like that, forget about it.
Trumbo was at the plate when that pitch got away last inning, on which Nick Ahmed just came wandering down the line. We say this a lot, make a base running mistake when you're ahead. It can come back to haunt. Now, in that case, they were 8 ahead. Now it's 6, so we'll see.
2 3-run jacks, you're right back in it. You never know. Especially in this ballpark. It's not like you're playing in San Diego or San Francisco. You just saw that guy basically I don't know, roll his wrist for a home run. That was impressive. I still like the inside-out home run that he hit at Nats Park of all the ones this year, where the ball was close to him. He got his hands inside and he hit it in the bullpen. Impressive.
Trumbo 1 for 3 with that 3-run homer last time. The swing in the 4th inning that finished Stephen Strasburg's night after 72 pitches. He jacks another one. He's got some backspin, and that thing's out of here in a hurry. Every time the Nats scored tonight, the D-backs have had an immediate answer. And for Trumbo, a 2-homer, 4 RBI night.
This is a laser. Just a low tracer out of here in a second. Whoever caught that ball, I hope they're okay. Look at how low that is. Just a bullet. Yeah, get out of the way.
2-0 on a Goldschmidt, who has walked, scored. He's 0 for 2. And Sammy Solis on a 4-pitch walk.
Left field.
Next up, David Peralta, lefty, and then Aaron Hill, the right-hander. There's nobody out here, 6th inning.
I'll tell you what, when you're seeing all these balls flying around this ballpark tonight off the bats of the Diamondback hitters, it makes what Max Scherzer did last night that much more impressive. We knew this ball club was hot, and numbers don't lie, and Scherzer shut him down last night.
Yeah, gives up a run on 5 hits in 7 innings. The only run, a solo homer by Jordan Pacheco. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike to David Peralta. There's Matt Grace, the other young lefty the Nats are featuring in the pen. Bullpen got a night off other than Blake Trinan, who pitched the final 2 innings last night thanks to Scherzer.
Yeah, I think Ryan Zimmerman holding the runner on right here tells you what Matt Williams thinks about his club's chances. Usually with a 7-run deficit, you play behind a runner, especially with a lefty up. But in this ballpark where you can score some runs, and his club has done it before, he's decided to hold the runner on. It tells you all you need to know about him thinking about a comeback.
Well, he hit here, if anybody should know.
Right.
3-pitch, he jammed him. 3-1 pitch, and a fly ball out to DENARD Span for the first out, 6th inning. D-backs box, where do we start? Well, maybe the top of the order. They have 7 RBIs from their numbers 1 and 2 hitters. Inciarte and Trumbo have both gone deep. And then they've got good production up and down. Peralta, a couple of hits. Chris Owings, triple-double. And even the pitcher, De La Rosa, a base hit for his first big league RBI. Here's Aaron Hill, who got their run scoring started back in the 1st inning with a 2-out, 2-run, 2-bagger. Looks like Matt Williams is going to come out and bring in a new pitcher and get somebody off their feet for the rest of the night. Last Nat to bat was Ian Desmond, and he's walking to the dugout. A guy who hardly ever takes an inning off. Might not be a bad time to do that. So Dan Uggla will go to second. Danny Espinosa to short on the double switch with Grace. Night. Roof open on a warm evening. Day game tomorrow. Danny Espinosa will move over to short. And Dan Uglow will be the number 9 hitter, meaning he'll bat second in the 7th. He's at second base, and here's lefty Matt Grace.
Yeah, 2-seam fastball. He got a good sinker. Probably 90, 91 miles an hour. Slider to go with it. 10th appearance. ERA sparkling at 1.50. Lefties hitting 286. Righties 400.
And that's the first pitch of the year thrown by the Nats in which Ian Desmond was not on the field. Hill is 3 for 4. First and second, still just 1 out. And Chris Owings is working on a 2-hit night already with a pair of extra base hits. 13 Arizona hits tonight.
So what, tomorrow going to be 1-0?
Could be. I don't know. Their starter has a 5.85 ERA. We'll see about Jeremy Hellickson and Gio Gonzalez for the Nats. Up the middle, hits keep on coming. Span charges. Goldschmidt held at third, and a good throw by DENARD to hit Zimmerman on a hop. Bases loaded, 1 out.
Owings needs a home run for the cycle, and he's going to get another at bat.
TUFFY GOSEWICH will be next. One for 3 with an RBI single.
We've seen a bunch of hitters relax, just like the Nats hitters were last night. You get a couple knocks your first time up. You got something to show for the day already. You go up there not really fighting your mind. That's how the big nights happen.
That's on the corner.
And there's so much thinking involved in this game. If you get in your own head, it takes away from your athletic ability, and you just don't have that free and easy, whether you're a hitter, whether you're a pitcher. You lose your athlete. And from what I saw from Steven Strasburg tonight, whether it was him thinking about his back or his hips or his ankle from spring training, his mechanics, he was grinding out there. He was thinking between every pitch, and it didn't allow him to be the athlete that we've seen in the past. And I think that's why you saw the results you saw.
And this ball is fouled out of play to the right side.
You've been there on the golf course, you know, when you start thinking about your swing too much, next thing you know, you're all locked up and the ball's not coming off your club the way you're used to it.
Paralysis by analysis, and we've talked about that before.
Start thinking about mechanics. Where are my hands? Where's my release point? Where are my hips? Where's my pinky toe? Next thing you know, you're swinging the telephone pole up there and you can't pull anything.
That ball thrown away. And now it's going to be 12-4 on a wild pitch. And a couple of left-handed rookie relievers who've been very good, having rough outings tonight. That closes the book on Sammy Solis, who in 2 innings gives up 4 runs.
But he got his first big league hit. So
2-2 pitch. Out of play again off the end of the bat. And Ramos has to go block another one. A ball laced to left, Worth right there. Here comes another runner, Aaron Hill, and it's 13-4.
I'll say this too, as a young player on a big league mound, every inning you get is a gift regardless of the score, and there's eyes on you every time you take the mound, whether it's a tie ball game, you're up by 1 or down by 9. So when you go out there, everyone's watching. General manager's sitting right next to us watching. The manager's watching. Everybody trying to figure out, you know, if your stuff plays at this level. I think with Solis and Grace, it does definitely play at this level. But regardless of the score, you got to go out there and pound the zone. And I know this organization doesn't care if you get hit as long as you're throwing strikes. So, I mean, in that regard, Solis threw strikes tonight, and Grace the same. I used to hate blowouts because I knew my manager was watching everything. He didn't have to manage. You sit there and watch you run to first base, watch how you made your turn on a base hit, watch your actions in the dugout, how you were carrying yourself. I mean, this ball club's been playing great, so maybe Matt Williams not really under the scope tonight with his players. He's definitely not happy with the outcome. But number one, you hate to get blown out, but number two, you knew your skipper didn't have to manage. He didn't have to push any buttons. He's just watching every little move you make. So you better play hard when you're down by a lot of runs.
2-1. Up the middle, base hit. Owings in to score. Now the Nats are down by 10.
Clint Robinson pitch.
I don't know.
No, I mean, as far as you don't want to go deeper into your bullpen with a 4-game series in San Diego, and you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. That's what I mean. You start getting these games, you start thinking about saving guys. You might need Matt Grace tomorrow in a big situation.
Sammy Solis threw 50 pitches in 2 innings tonight. So here's Ruby De La Rosa. He goes up hacking. RBI hit last time up, his first major league run batted in. And Grace gets the strikeout on a pitch down low. 4 more for the D-backs. Hey, 9 outs to go. 14-4 Arizona.
of Arlington and Mercedes-Benz of Alexandria, 14-4. Diamondbacks up as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Bryce Harper's had a good night. He's double 7th of the year home run, number 12, and we're going to show you the bullet off the bat of Bryce. Say that fast 5 times. That was 111 miles an hour. Average MLB hit speed 77. And then the home run, the roll of the wrist, hips out, front shoulder is flying, still gets it out of here. How fast was that one? You ask, and we give it to you. 95 miles an hour.
Espinosa, Ugla, and DENARD Span, top of the 7th. Well, the Marlins are down 6-1. The Mets have lost. The Braves have lost. The Phillies have lost. So not a great night for the East, but
so today doesn't count then.
Just
everything.
If you don't come back with 10 runs in the next 3 innings, you just play 2.5 back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And have a chance to win another series.
Nothing counts today. Whatever you did today doesn't count. It's National Not Count Day.
Sound like that golf commercial. Don't count that one. Don't count that one.
That's like golfing with you.
Yeah, well, you've done it once in 5 years. What do you know? Chase Field in downtown Phoenix. Bob FP and Dan. FP played golf with me the second day we knew each other, and he hasn't done it since.
Yep, had enough.
Just for the record.
That was it. Hit my limit.
Yeah.
I saw your 4th foot wedge, and I was like, uncle on this.
All right. No, that was one of the radio guys. That's low and away, and Dan Ugla gets his first debut of the series. And that's a slider, 80 from De La Rosa. Maybe the curveball at 80. He's been good enough tonight when he's needed to be. He has not had a 1-2-3 inning. Faced 3 batters in the first. That was a double play ball after a leadoff single by DENARD Span. Aaron Barrett. .93 downstairs. Ugla couldn't get there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dan Ugla originally signed by Mike Rizzo here with the D-backs for a grand total of $1,000 out of the University of Memphis. Arizona, 11th rounder in 01. Swing and a miss. 2 outs. Strikeout number 4 for Ruby De La Rosa.
The Peanuts return to the Feds May 19th through the 21st. They take on the Carolina Mudcats. That's always a big rivalry. You got to go down there and see that. $2 tacos and tall boys. All you can eat buffet on the field during the game. For all your ticket promotional information, go to PotomacNationals.com.
Hey, you got 2 nights out of 5 down there when you can go see a phenom on the mound.
Lucas Giolito.
Would he go tomorrow night now?
Ronaldo Lopez.
Lopez went tonight. DENARD 2 for 3 tonight, and he lays off that 85 changeup. First inning base hit the other way. 3rd inning RBI double to the gap in left center. And a fly ball to center in the 5th inning. DENARD still hitting .307. Not biting on 94 downstairs. Four-pitch walk. Span on for the 3rd time. And for De La Rosa, his 2nd pass of the night. Yunel Escobar, a rare 0-fer. through 3 at-bats.
Pitch count relatively low. A lot of fastballs due to the 10-run lead.
Yeah, started the inning with 78 pitches.
Talked to Chip Hale before the game. They say, "How's it going as a major league manager? You liking it? You digging this gig?" And he said, "Absolutely." And he was talking about the advice that he gets from Tony La Russa from time to time, and it was awesome the way he explained it. Tony doesn't tell him you should have done this or you should have done that. He relates his own stories and experiences based on what Chip Hale asked him. Like, you know, do you think I should have done this last night? And he'll say, well, you know, in 2004 there was a game against this and we did this in that situation. And what a great job as a mentor when you have a Hall of Fame manager and a first-year manager not saying, hey, you really should have bunted right there, or I would have brought in the lefty to face this guy.
Right.
He says he puts it in a way where he tells a story about his personal experiences, and it's helped him immensely early in the season as a manager. And we love Tony La Russa. I'm a huge fan of his. And that's pretty cool, I thought.
Yeah, that's mentoring coming from a guy with 2,728 wins. Aaron Hill, good job to cut that ball off. The Nats are gone. 7th inning stretch time. In fact, it's our Hyundai 7th inning stretch. Streets are empty outside Chase Field. All the action inside tonight. Look like a rubber game tomorrow. Gio 3-2, and as I mentioned earlier tonight, great ERA against the D-backs. That's Jeremy Hellickson, known for his fast work rate, but not for his ERA. Gio 2-3, 133 against the D-backs. Hellickson has an ERA of 5.85, and the leagues are hitting 328 against him. 3 p.m. Nats Extra will join you from Chase Field at 3:30 for a 3:40 first pitch. Aaron Barrett takes over for the Nats. Trying to piece together the bullpen to get 6 more outs and not burn a whole lot of arms up for tomorrow. Barrett, first pitch, skied out to center. DENARD span cruising for Inciarte's fly ball.
Well, I know what Matt Williams is thinking. He's got a high pitch count guy tomorrow in Gio Gonzalez.
Right fielder, TRUMBO.
And he's hoping he can get some innings out of Gio. But I'll say this right now. Gio's stuff this year is every bit as good as it was when he won 21 games. He's been impressive. I don't care what the numbers are. I'm talking about what my eyes are telling me. He's a different guy this year than he was last year.
And Barrett with a slider low to Mark Trumbo. Coming into this evening, the only D-back that's ever faced Aaron Barrett is the man on deck. After Trumbo, it's Goldschmidt. Tell you, they're a different lineup with this guy in that number 2 spot. Chip Hale does agree with Tony La Russa in one area. He likes a power guy batting second. La Russa did that for years.
Well, he agrees with Tony La Russa in every area, not just that.
You know, but there are some managers who like to save a guy like that for the 4, 5, 6 spot. La Russa had Dave Henderson for a while. He had Carney Lansford, who had some pop. Larry Walker when he was in St. Louis. Guys who would bat second. That was toward the end of Larry Walker's career. And here's one in Trumbo, 3-0. Aaron Barrett runs one back to the outside edge.
Hale went on to tell me that Tony La Russa has even gone so far as to talk to Pat Riley about how to transition from being a coach to a front office guy and not to be so hands-on that you rub people the wrong way. They got good people assembled here.
That ball scorched to right center. Bryce Harper on the run. Bryce doesn't care what the score is. He's playing some ball. And something's going to have to go horribly wrong for him not to be in Cincinnati in 2 months.
I'm telling you, the routes, the jumps he's getting, being ready for the baseball, he's played right field as good as anybody in the majors. And a little dive at the end to decelerate as the fence is coming. But another good route, another good play from Bryce Harper.
Here's Paul Goldschmidt, 0 for 1 career against Barrett with a strikeout.
Who's Gold Glove right fielder last year? Remember?
That ball high in the air. Fortunately, way high. And DENARD span under.
It was Hayward, wasn't it?
I think so.
I think Bryce has got a chance.
Second 1-2-3 inning for the Nats pitching staff tonight.
To 4 as we head to the top of the 8th inning. Let's show you that Bryce Harper catch one more time because, well, we just feel like it. Pretty good route, ready for the baseball. And I think that's a key for any of you young outfielders that are still up this late. Being ready for the ball. How fast was that one? What was the hit speed on the line? 111 miles an hour. That ball was struck. I don't know about the hit speed meter tonight. It seems a little hot to me.
Left-hander Andrew Chafin. 3 games for the Diamondbacks at the end of last year. 24 years of age, from Kettering, Ohio. And the 43rd overall player drafted in 2011. So, Jason, another pitcher here the Nats are seeing for the first time. Worth a base hit up the middle last time prior to the Harper home run. On the edge, 0-2. Good pitch.
It's a beefy stash. We'll see some of those when the Yankees come to town. You see them, they're all sporting stashes. The whole squad. They're throwing it back to the 70s.
One, 2 to Worth.
Watch Jason's BP today, and the ball's starting to come off his bat a little more different than it has so far. He was hitting some bombs to left, some bombs to center, so the home runs are going to come just a matter of time. Maybe not in San Diego so much, but
and Worth reaching for that one. Oh, that was a nice big hop. Nick Ahmed got at the end of that play.
for every Nationals walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support Girls on the Run DC. The Nats have drawn 109 walks for a total of $5,450, and I think all of those were by Bryce. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. 109 walks, there he is. 28 actually for $1,400. Don't let the facts get in the way of the good story. Come on.
2 for 3 tonight. 6 total bases, double, home run. Bryce is 1 total base short of 80. Adrian Gonzalez started the night with 85 to lead the league, so Harper right behind him and ahead of Paul Goldschmidt. And a fastball at 94 in there. Counts even, 1-1. Under his hands with 93. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Well, if I'm Bryce Harper and I have 2 hits, a double and a homer, I might as well try for another one. You got a couple hits under your belt, let it rip, and he does right here. That ball was just off the plate in.
Now the Marlins have a bit of a hangover from last night. They're getting pounded now in the 6th inning, 10-1 at Dodger Stadium.
Did they go out after the game?
No, the hangover took place in the bottom of the 9th.
Oh, all right.
Or the events that led to the hangover. And actually what they did after the game is their own business, but
yeah, that was
not a pleasant night.
Well, they had back-to-back rough ones. They got walked off in San Francisco, flew to LA, got walked off last night. And I heard they're looking at Soriano to be their possible closer. That's the word today.
Two with 1 out. If Mr. Harper doesn't swing, it's not a strike.
Well, you know what? You say that half jokingly, but when you get the reputation around the league, umpires talk. Yeah. They're like, hey, this guy has got a great eye. He's swinging at strikes. He's taking balls. So you do get the benefit of the doubt if you show umpires that you know the zone.
Now a payoff pitch with 1 out. How about a challenge fastball? It was, but it was way upstairs. And Bryce is on for the 3rd time tonight. And that .434 on base average he brought into this game is going to be up around .450 now.
First baseman.
Yeah, we want to see him swing the bat. We want to see him do amazing things. But hey, he's taking what the game's giving him, and it's going well.
Take that first step towards a healthier, more active lifestyle.
Go for a walk.
29 for Braxton.
That's right. Ryan Zimmerman 2 for 3. And now batting with a chance to get to 250. Bouncer up the middle. And that is a 6-3 tailor-made double play ball for Nick Ahmed. The Nats are gone in the 8th inning. It's all D-backs tonight as the teams are about to trade blowouts. For the game tomorrow, will you? Because Clint Robinson's pitching. What's the stock market going to do tomorrow? Kidding me?
I thought he might get in there tonight, and there he is, folks. Clint Robinson, lefty, got 2-seam fastball, 4-seam fastball, slider change. Fastball goes about 82 miles an hour. Slider 70.
Bring it, Clint.
And he's making his major league pitching debut, and I have no idea what he has or how hard he throws.
We'll find out.
But I always like this. It always lightened the mood in the clubhouse after a tough loss. So let's see what he's got.
David Peralta leads off. He was 2 for 4 previous to this AB.
And he throws the fastball 100% of the time. 81.
Clint working off the stretch here, like all great relievers do with nobody on. And a base hit. The left-hander stands 6'5", 247, and he's 30 years of age. And right now, I could tell you that Eric Hosmer and Billy Butler have nothing on Clint Robinson. I don't know if they've ever pitched, but those were the guys he was stuck behind in the Kansas City organization. That ball is laced way from.
He needs a home run for the cycle.
That's right. And Aaron Hill, first inning double, 5th inning single.
He hit for 2 cycles.
You're thinking about Chris Owings, who's next.
I'm sorry.
Hill does have 3 hits. Triple, single, single.
Yeah, you're right. My scorebook's a zoo right now. I'll tell you what, it's hard to hit off guys like this if you're a position player because you're supposed to get a hit.
And the 0-2, swing and a miss. 81 upstairs. Clint Robinson's first major league strikeout.
They're throwing the ball out.
Is he going to throw the ball over to? Yeah, he is.
Heck yeah, he is. Scherzer was the one yelling for it. So baseball, Major League Baseball authenticator guy, there you go. How about some Toyota K's for kids? It's time for Toyota K's for kids. Oh, the Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37. Way to go, Clint, to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by Nats pitcher this year.
The ball popped up. Now here's the man looking for the cycle, Chris Owings. 4th inning triple, 5th inning double, 6th inning single. And that's a can of corn, baby. DENARD span right there. 2 down.
You just sounded like Hawk Harrelson right there. Let's check out some
Grab some bench.
Geico highlights. Oh, what a night for Chris Owens. Second at-bat triple after he lined out to second. Don't forget that one, his first at-bat. So this is his third at-bat in the fifth, a double. And then last time up in the sixth inning, a single. So 3 knocks, single, double, triple for the second baseman for the D-backs.
And Robinson starts out Tuffy GOSEWICH with a breaking ball. Tapper to third, cut off by Escobar. And Clint Robinson debuts as a big league pitcher, gives up a single, retires 3 in a row, and he's on quite a roll. This one into the ninth. Nationals baseball on Masson, brought to you by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. Enter promo code DUGOUT for free entry. And by Orkin, pest control down to a science. Some pitchers have been chased in this ballpark tonight. Clint Robinson, big league debut as a pitcher, and he gets 3 hitters in a row after that base hit.
Well, you can follow Clint Robinson and all the Nats all season long in 2015 with MLB.com At-Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At-Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights. Get MLB.com At-Bat for your smartphone or tablet.
9 pitches, 7 strikes for Clint Robinson. Now here's Wilson Ramos, top of the ninth. Andrew Chafin still in there for the D-backs. Strike 1. And that's outside, counts even. So here's Wilson Ramos, last chance to get that hitting streak to a new career high, 15 games. Good eye.
I've seen a lot of good things tonight from Nats hitters, not giving at-bats away down by this many runs. Still trying to put up a good AB. Because they all count and they all go on the back of your baseball card regardless of the score. I like what I'm seeing.
Inside to Ramos, who jumped back, and it's a count of 2-2. 3-2 now, pardon me. And Ramos does have a 15-game hitting streak. He hits one extremely hard to right center. And Wilson Ramos, 23 for 59 during this streak.
But way to go, career high too. 15-game hitting streak for Wilson Ramos. Like I said, good at bats all over the place, even though they're getting crushed here tonight in the desert. And you know, Bryce Harper drawing that walk, Jason Worth with a base hit in the 6th, Wilson Ramos extending the streak. Bryce's home run, I mean, they're still grinding. I like it.
Wilson Ramos, one of those guys who doesn't get a 15-game hitting streak with any infield hits either. He's been driving the ball. Here's Michael A. Taylor. Had an at-bat last night, hit a ground ball to short.
You know, he hits in the later groups in batting practice, and a lot of times we're up here doing our scorecards, getting ready for the broadcast. But he puts on some kind of display in BP. His pop to all fields is something to watch. If you ever come to Nats Park early and watch batting practice, watch the display that Michael Taylor puts on. It's impressive.
That pitch is flying up and away. Another long count here for Andrew Chafin. Crowd of 19,053 paid tonight. So the 2-game series drawing just over 35,000 total. And an afternoon game tomorrow. I wonder if they'll have the roof open. How hot will it be at 3:30 in the afternoon here? By the way, Clint Robinson became the first position player to pitch in a ball game in the history of the Nats, and he did quite well.
I find that so hard to believe.
And Taylor will hit one deep to right field, going back Trumbo in front of the track for the first out.
You mean in all those lean years when the Nats were getting pummeled by the rest of the National League, you never saw a position player pitch?
Lost a lot of close games, I guess. I know we talked about it from time to time. There were guys that we were sort of hoping to see out there, but didn't happen until tonight. Amazing. Danny Espinosa 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Dan Uggla on deck with 1 out, 9th inning. And Chafin throws one right in there.
When you're playing well as a ball club and you get one of these, it's not a big deal. You know, you get walked off 3-2 in game 2 of a series. That's a tough one to sleep with. You flip-flop all night. You don't sleep real well. You got a day game the next day. This is a turn-the-page job. Not a big deal.
Danny Espinosa turns it into a 1 for 3.
If you're playing bad and you get blown out 14-4, now you might take that one home with you. But when you're playing as good as this ball club has been playing, hey, whatever, it's baseball. Give them on. And I don't think you're going to see any long faces in that dugout. I don't think you're going to see any concern. Just one of those deals.
Well, Bryce had a nice night, on base 3 times, double, 2-run homer and a walk. Here's Dan Uggla. And he will go to right center. Wilson Ramos will score. Espinosa heading to third. Uggla into second base. And Dan Uggla continues to collect extra base hits to the opposite gap.
I mean, look at everybody in the dugout. That they're going to give high fives, even though they know they're not going to win this one. And to my point about the at-bats, these are all good at-bats. Wilson Ramos, Danny Espinosa, even Michael Taylor hit that ball good to right. Now Dan Uggla.
Pitch hitting for DENARD standing, number 12, Tyler Moore.
You find out more about a ball club when they're losing sometimes than you can when they're winning.
And against the lefty, Matt Williams will get an AB here for Tyler Moore for DENARD Span.
I like the Dan Uggla story. I like everything about it. And I hope he keeps doing well, because it's fun to watch him play and watch his career continue.
And another guy who used to be with Atlanta, Randall Delgado, has to get up and throw now.
You know what he's showing that he's never really shown in his career? That he can come off the bench and get a hit.
Yeah.
That's value. There's value in that.
With pop. Nats have 11 hits tonight. And Tyler Moore will bounce one to short. They're going to get the runner at third. Ball in front of Dan Uggla. He kept on going. Espinosa scores in front of him, making it 14-6 on the fielder's choice. RBI for Tyler Moore.
I think Dan Uggla forgot how many outs there were.
The Nats down to their final out. And here's Yunel Escobar with a chance to get rid of an 0 for tonight. Bouncing ball right side will get that done. How about 4 hits here in the 9th inning? Stopping at second base, Tyler Moore. And JAYSON WERTH will be the hitter. And if he can do something, Bryce Harper may get another AB. Now they got to make a pitching change. So Chip Hale is going to get the ball from Andrew Chafin, who goes an inning and 2/3, can't close it out. It'll be a righty against Worth, and that'll be Randall Delgado, a pitcher the Nats know. And a matchup here against Randall Delgado, a former Atlanta Braves right-hander. Worth has faced him one time, has a base hit.
You wonder if Delgado is really ready to come into this game. Mentally ready, I mean.
Yeah. Then if Worth can get aboard, Bryce Harper gets a right-hander. And that's a borderline call for a strike. Counts even, 1-1. By the way, Dave Martinez and Junior Noboa, the only franchise guys who've ever pitched in a game, position players. Back in the Expos days. I'm a little surprised you're not on that list.
No, I faced 9 hitters in 1 inning my senior year. Didn't get it out. That was,
that was it.
Senior in high school.
Well, Worth on a breaking ball couldn't get it. Jason 1 for 4 tonight. And a bouncer back to the pitcher. That'll do it. 2 hours and 59 minutes for the Diamondbacks to beat the Nats 14-6. Washington did not go down without a pretty good fight late in the game. The series rubber game tomorrow.